locked up while the guilty lie. We free Mustafa.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, can you guys hear me? 1, 2. All right, this is good. All right. This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa through the police body cam. Judge Carol Weimer, you're under the microscope. Now, you're under the microscope because I have all the body cams that you sealed for Commonwealth Amy Ashworth. I have the whole entire discovery that you sealed for Commonwealth Amy Ashworth. And apparently, what we have is sheriff deputies that are not okay with what goes on behind the bench, that they're sending us audio recording from inside your proceeding when you're presiding over Mustafa. That we get to have a podcast and call it Judge Carol Weimer Under the Microscope. We get to find out if Judge Carol Weimer has been impartial in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. And you don't have to take my word for it. You're going to hear the audio where the prosecutor flat out lie about the whole entire case. And Judge Weimer looks the other way. As a matter of fact, helps her lie about Mustafa. I tell everybody when they join the podcast, you have a choice. You can take the word of the Commonwealth attorney, Amy Ashworth, who tell you she's not going to give you any body cams. She's not going to give you any discovery documents. And she asks you to simply take her word for it that this is intentional. That Mustafa did this intentionally. That you should take her word for it because she's the Commonwealth attorney. Or you can join this podcast, tune in every day, and I tell you, you do not have to don't take my word for it. I'm going to give you the body cams that the county is hiding. I'm going to give you the discovery document that the county is hiding. And I'm going to let you hear the audio of what goes on inside the court. And I'm going to give you the dash camera that they're hiding, that they're terrified that the community is going to watch. Don't take my word for it. Look at the evidence. And you tell me if they haven't been lying about Mustafa for the past 2 years. Now, I'll recap. The Mustafa Al-Jazari case is a vehicle accident. Mustafa lost his family in that vehicle accident, his girlfriend, her 5-year-old baby. And for the past 2 years, over 2 years, we've been attempting to get justice for Mustafa, his girlfriend Dorothy, and her 5-year-old baby, Empress. The county failed to airlift Mustafa's family when there's a helicopter on standby. The body cam that's supposed to be uploaded to evidence.com is missing. This county is actively deleting body cams, police body cams, even though we have a document in the discovery that says the DC police officer uploaded his body cam to the file, to evidence.com. It's nowhere to be found. That body cam is nowhere to be found. Now, why is that body cam missing? It's going to show that when this DC officer made contact with Mustafa's girlfriend, Dorothy, it's going to show when he made contact with 5-year-old Empress, when he made contact with Mustafa. Mysteriously, that body cam is removed from the discovery. So we have a question for Commonwealth Attorney Amy Ashworth. Is the police department actively deleting body cams off of evidence.com? You can't dismiss this conversation. I will post. As a matter of fact, I already posted the document of the DC police officer that you can clearly read. I uploaded my body cam to evidence.com. It's not there. But you can rest assured we're going to get it. Every piece of evidence in this case showed that this is a vehicle accident. Mustafa's foot was on the brake the whole entire time. That's what the computer inside the vehicle showed. The police mechanic inspected the body cam, inspected the vehicle, and on body cam, we have that body cam, we've released it, say that there is brake failure. Mustafa's foot is on the brake the whole time, and they say the brake did not engage. Now, there's a body cam that we uploaded to the internet now. Mind you, this is a sealed body cam. The county is terrified, and they're hiding this body cam. As a matter of fact, what you'll hear the prosecutor say in court, there was nothing wrong with the vehicle. The prosecutor will say that in court. Lie to the judge. But we have the body cam where the police mechanic inspect the vehicle and find brake failure. Police mechanics say brake did not engage. Like I said, you do not have to take my word for it. I'll show you the body cam.
This is the highest setting, and the brake didn't engage.
That's interesting.
Brake didn't engage.
Brake didn't engage. Two calipers did not work. Mustafa managed to get the vehicle from 55, which is speed limit, to 35, but the vehicle would not stop. Now the prosecutor goes on and she says Mustafa jerked the vehicle into oncoming traffic. That is not true. When you watch the dash camera and you watch the steering wheel for Mustafa ends up in oncoming traffic when the vehicle did not stop. When he hit the brake, the vehicle did not stop. You see the steering wheel. Mustafa did not jerk the wheel like the prosecutor says. The wheel is straight. When the road ends, you end up in oncoming traffic. The question is, did Mustafa hit the brake? The computer inside the vehicle says Mustafa's foot was on the brake the whole entire time. The police officer, the investigator, Chad Mason, takes a stand and says there were no skid marks. That is not true. As a matter of fact, we have a body cam where Mustafa brake marks is right there before the vehicle ended up in oncoming traffic. We have pictures from the investigator, Robert Drum, on his Nokia camera that took pictures of Mustafa's brake marks before the vehicle ended up on the other side. Now, the question is, did Mustafa do everything he can to avoid this vehicle accident? Yes. His foot is on the brake the whole entire time. There are brake marks from him hitting the brake. And it's consistent with the two calipers that did not work because there is only one brake mark. The front driver, the back driver, those calipers were working. But the passenger front and the back passenger did not engage. So what do you have when you hit the brake? You have one brake mark. And we have a body cam that will show Mustafa's brake mark. Even though the main investigator took the stand, a police officer out of Prince William County, Chad Mason, took the stand in court and lied and said there are no brake marks. That's on the record. As a matter of fact, I have a video of the proceeding. That's interesting. There's a lot of deputy sheriffs that are not okay with the amount of BS that goes on in courts. In the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, they are actively supplying us with material. Let's see. Trying to find that body cam where clearly show Mustafa's brake mark. There we go. This is from a body cam of a police officer on scene. So, this is, by the way, this is a witness that says, I heard Mustafa hit the brake. Listen. The prosecutor says there are no witnesses. As a matter of fact, we have multiple witnesses that say the vehicle was driving normal. It wasn't reckless. As a matter of fact, the dash camera showed that Mustafa was not driving reckless. He was not speeding. He was not reckless. He accidentally took a lane and couldn't get back into traffic because a vehicle cut him off on the dash camera. He couldn't get back into traffic. He hits the brake. There's no brake. And the vehicle ends up in oncoming traffic. The prosecutor says he jerked the vehicle into oncoming. That's not true. That is not true. The dash camera is there. The prosecutor says there are no witnesses that saw or heard that Mustafa hit the brake. Listen to what this witness says. By the way, these are sealed body cams.
Hi. Did one of you guys see the crash?
We didn't actually see it. He was driving right behind us.
That's the Charger? The Chrysler?
We heard it and turned around, and I was the only one who could get on with 911. So
What happened? Like, did you see
he
him?
was coming this way. We heard brakes skid, and we looked back.
Did you hear that?
Were you guys driving that?
We heard brake skid. Now tell me why. In court, the prosecutor says no. There are no witnesses that heard brake marks, brake skids. There are no witnesses that heard or saw skid marks, brake marks. The investigator gets on the stand and says, there are no brake marks. Interesting. Because we have a picture of Mustafa brake marks. This is a body cam where a Prince William County police officer is coming up on Mustafa's vehicle. And at one point, you're going to see I circle Mustafa brake marks before the vehicle ends up on the other side, before the lane ends, and there's nowhere to go for Mustafa. What Mustafa does, he couldn't get back into traffic. He hits the brake. There is no brake. So what he does, when the vehicle ends up in oncoming traffic, he avoids every vehicle and gets to the other side. Only for the SUV to turn into Mustafa. You see that? You're going to see a circle, and you're going to see Mustafa brake marks before the vehicle ends up on the other side. They're charging Mustafa with premeditated M1. How could it be premeditated M1 if he did everything he can to avoid a vehicle accident? Did you see that? Should we rewind? Chad Mason. Investigator Chad Mason. We have Mustafa calling in from solitary confinement.
An inmate at the Prince William Manassas jail. To accept this call, press 0. Your current balance is
Mustafa has been in solitary confinement for the past 2 years.
This call is from a corrections facility and is subject to
They suspended the preliminary hearing. No preliminary hearing. No trial. And sit in solitary confinement for 2 years. Mustafa, hello.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Mustafa, thank you for joining this podcast. I love you. Thank you for being here. I just did a recap of the whole entire case. I'm really happy that you're joining the podcast. How are you today?
Good. What's going on? By the way, you know what time it is?
Right now, it is 10:19.
All right, perfect timing.
Mustafa,
All right.
actually, it is perfect timing. I just did a recap of the case. I was gonna go into the correctional officers that were involved in the incident, where and I'll let you go into it. What I'm actually doing, and I want to tell these correctional officers. this podcast is going to have a segment dedicated for you. I'm going to look up your picture. I'm going to look up your home address. I'm going to look up the high school you went to. I'm going to look up the gym that you go to. And what I'm going to do, since you are a public official, our county has to know who we entrust pre-trial detainees in our county jail. You're a public official. Everything that you have is public. We pay your salary. May I remind you that you're a public official. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a website where there's a hall of fame. Every incident that happens inside our county jail is going to be reported on that page, where the community is going to find out what goes on behind those doors, behind closed doors. The next time you get your coffee at 7-Eleven, the clerk behind the register is going to tell you, you're a piece of shit. Can you try a little bit harder not to be a piece of shit because I pay for your salary? I heard about you doing such and such to pre-trial detainees, inmates that have not had their day in court. Your job is to make sure. This is the mission statement. May I remind you, the mission statement for the county jail under the superintendent is to keep, under Sheriff Glenn Hill, is to keep inmates safe until they get to their day in court. That's your job. That's your job. That's your only job. You're a glorified babysitter. That's your job. And I'm going to make sure that you do your job. What you've done to my brother 2 days ago is not acceptable. And I'm here to tell you, there are consequences. And the consequences is, in the name of transparency, we're going to monitor your behavior behind those walls. In jail, the community is going to see who's a piece of shit and who's not a piece of shit. If you do your job, we're going to thank you for your job. If you don't do your job, we're going to document it. We're going to contact the Department of Justice. And God help you when the Department of Justice get a hold of what you're doing behind closed doors. In the name of transparency, we want to know what correctional officers are doing behind closed doors. And you're a public official. You're not a private citizen. You're not a private citizen. So doxing you out on the internet, that doesn't apply to you. That does not apply to you because you are a public official, a jail officer. You're deputized under Sheriff Glenn Hill. What you do falls directly under Sheriff Glenn Hill. And we ask Sheriff Glenn Hill to do better. Hold your correctional officer accountable before the Department of Justice hold you accountable. You're going to be under my microscope. I promise you. I'm going to have a profile dedicated. I already have the list of every correctional officer inside our county jail. How hard is it? How hard do you really think it is for me to inform this community what you do, who you are, to have some kind of accountability? I mean, the media's not doing it. The sheriff is not doing it. Our Department of Justice have to know. Apparently, we have to do our job as a community. And I'm doing my part. You're a public official. Your home address is going to be on the internet. The gym that you go to is going to be on the internet. I'm going to be like a private investigator, building a profile on you. And every time you take a fart behind those closed doors, we're going to hear about it. This community is going to hear about it. And if you do a good job, we'll thank you for your service. Mustafa, thank you for joining this podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, little brother, who's fucking with you?
Can I just, I'm not snitching. I'm just going to tell on him. I'm going to tell on Officer Zachary Boone. 2 days ago, he called for his buddies, First Sergeant James Foster, Sergeant Anthony Thompson, and the other sergeant, George Lewis. And while he's in the background, wearing a body camera and recording me. So they're looking for a reaction. What he does with his body camera, he's empowered by Captain Powell, Captain Robert Powell. He's empowered with his body camera where he selectively turns it on whenever he feels like it, whenever he antagonizes me, harasses me, then turns it on to wait for a reaction. So I tell him, I don't want to deal with this person. I don't want to have any interactions with this person. This person previously, if you look at my notes, Officer Zachary Boone, he used to come into my cell, play with the cover on my window, antagonize me, make remarks about my case, and 2 days ago he's been calling me by my full name. He's like, Mustafa, my middle name, last name, just saying it in the middle of the pod. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? So he's supposed to be professional, but he doesn't have that on his body camera. He turns it off selectively whenever he feels like it. They go into the back room, him, Sergeant James Foster, Sergeant Anthony Thompson, and Sergeant George Lewis. They all go into the back room. They come up next to my tray slot, and it's almost like I'm in a like a stick up. They're over here. It's like an armed robbery. Hang up the phone. Hang up the phone right now. I'm like, oh my God, like what is going on? If you don't hang up the phone right now, I'm being subjected to being written up for not following a direct order. What happens with that is that they take away all my privileges and they can justify why I'm not able to go to rec. I've been complaining about why can't I go to rec? The rec door is broken. No, it's not. They put a sign up on the door saying that the door is broken. The door is not broken. They just don't want us to go to rec. I'm locked up 24/7 in my cell. The least they can do is give me my rights. My rights to call my family. My rights to go to the recreation room. My rights to breathe. Why am I being harassed by Officer Zachary Boone? And then he makes the phone call. He's like, okay, bring him in. Bring who in? Then you see Sergeant James Foster. Now he's first sergeant.
Mom, can you do me a favor? Can you give me the recording when Mama talked to the supervisor?
Previously, First Sergeant James Foster choked me out. I had an incident with him and First Sergeant Earl Gordon, and they attacked me in my cell. That's previously on D-Pod in cell 12. That's all in my notes. And now
are you talking about the May 24 incident?
No, not May 24th. Previously,
because I'm playing the video. I'm playing the video from the CCTV inside the jail where they carried you unconscious from one cell into another cell, half naked, handcuffed behind your back, and one of the correctional officers is hitting you on the head and kicking you.
That's May 24th, 2023.
Only to take you into another cell, strip you completely naked, abuse you, and then deny you medical. So you can't dismiss this conversation. Maybe before you can dismiss the sheriff can dismiss this conversation, but I've got the sheriff by the balls because I have his CCTV video where his correctional officer did this to you, and he said at the time nothing happened. These are your injuries. These are your injuries. 2 weeks into, yeah.
They attempted to murder me. They tried to kill me. They tortured me. They abused me in the worst ways possible. And I'm sitting here, breathing. I'm alive. Thank you, God. But that doesn't allow them to continue to torture me and harass me. Now, 2 days ago, Officer Zachary Boone takes my lunch bag and throws it on the floor. Why would you throw my food on the floor? I'm not a dog. I have the right to be a human being. I have the right to eat my food, put my food on the tray slot, or hand it to me. Don't throw it on the floor. That is so disrespectful. So the way I'm being treated, it's almost like I'm not human. It's almost like I'm a wild beast. I'm being titled as a murderer, and these officers are taking advantage of these titles. They're taking advantage of the equipment, such as the body camera, where they turn it off whenever they feel like it, antagonize you, and then turn it on. Who's empowering these jail officers to do all that? Obviously, the Director of Security, Captain Robert Powell. Who's empowering him? They put him in these higher ranks. You have First Sergeant James Foster, First Sergeant Earl Gordon, Sergeant George Lewis, and Sergeant Anthony Thompson. Let me remind you who Sergeant Anthony Thompson is. On May 24th, 2023, Sergeant Anthony Thompson, who's been working here, he's been working here almost 20 years. And he comes into my cell ransacks my
This
cell.
is Anthony Thompson, the one that's hitting him on the head, kicking him as he's being dragged unconscious from one cell into
I
another
want
cell.
you to understand. I want you to differentiate between Vincent Thompson.
Oh, Vincent
and
Thompson. This is
Anthony
Vincent Thompson. Yeah. This is
Vincent
Vincent Thompson.
is the one that's hitting me, who attempted to kill me, who abused me. That's Vincent Thompson in the video. Sergeant Anthony Thompson is the person that came into my cell before the beating, where he clogged my toilet with paper towels and soap, which caused the flooding. That's the initial, like, what happened. If you look at the camera previous to the beating where they rushed into my cell, Sergeant Anthony Thompson ran up in my cell with Officer John Christopher Dick, ransacking my cell, taking everything out, and First Sergeant Canali R. Darling had me in handcuffs outside of my cell. And then they put me in my cell where they took all of my belongings out with my pictures, my property, everything, and left me in the cell. And now, when that happened, Sergeant Anthony Thompson was the last person in my cell, and he clogged my toilet with paper towels and soap. When the flooding happened, 6 giant officers ran into my cell and beat the crap out of me. That night was a life-changing night. I've never been touched like that in my life. Never. Passed out. I blacked out on multiple occasions. But remember the culprits. Sergeant Anthony Thompson, 2 days ago, when he comes and grabs the phone from me with First Sergeant James Foster and Sergeant George Loomis and Officer Zachary Boone, these are gang members hiding behind a badge. These are gang members. What is a gang? A gang is individuals conspiring, committing illegal activities. I mean, that's an unlawful gang right here, but they're using their badge to harass and demonize me. They're treating me like an animal. Why would you take my lunch bag and throw it on the floor? Why can't I be handed my food like a human being? They're shoving the tray. Officer Kenneth Schultz was shoving the tray in my face. Why? Why? It's a hard tray, by the way. This is not like the styrofoam tray. They're shoving it through the tray slot in my face. Like, hold on, what's going on? Can I ask a question? First Sergeant James Foster is like, no. They shut the tray in my face, the tray slot in my face, open up my door, and put my tray on the floor and close the door. They have no room to talk about what just happened. They took the phone away from me. Everyone used the phone for hours, and I'm not allowed to use the phone. Why am I not allowed to use the phone? This is on a personal hatred level, where they're acting in their own capacity. They have a personal hate towards me. Where is this order coming from? It's coming from somewhere, and we have to identify where it's coming from, and the individuals that are conducting this behavior have to be held accountable. We can't let them get away with it. They're literally ganging up on me. I swear, when I'm on the phone, my fear is very simple. It feels like a stick up. Every time they come around my tray slot, it's like, give up the phone right now. Or what? Or what are you going to do to me? What are you going to do to me if I don't give you the phone? Officer, what are you going to do to me if I don't give you the phone? You're subjected to being pepper sprayed. You're subjected to being beat up. You're subjected to being tasered in the face by these tyrant officers. You're being subjected to violence by these officers that are rogue. They have this sadistic type of behavior. It's so nasty, it's ill. And they don't belong working here. Not in America. They can do that in Indonesia somewhere where there's no law or whatever, somewhere in Hong Kong, wherever. Even there, I feel like it's unacceptable. But they can do that where nobody's looking. But when people are looking, you bring it to transparency. In the name of transparency, yes, expose them.
Abdul Khan, thank you for praying for Mustafa. Mustafa, Abdul Khan is in the chat and he is praying for you.
Oh, thank you, Abdul. God bless you, man. I just want to tell Abdul Khan. Abdul Khan sounds like my brother. A brother. I just want to tell Abdul Khan, how would you feel if your blood-related brother or someone that you truly care about who's trying to pray in his cell, they take his prayer rug, shut off his water, put him in a cell naked with feces, urine, and blood, beat the crap out of him, abuse him in the worst ways possible. And I'm sitting there with just just total shock. I'm already grieving over my loved ones, and then on top of it, I get a beatdown from animals. I mean,
For those
I've never in my
that
life.
are joining the conversation, this is Mustafa Al Jazari. He's been held in solitary confinement for over 2 years on falsified police reports. Mustafa lost his family in a vehicle accident. Every piece of evidence in this case is a vehicle accident. The police department falsified every police report. We're in possession of the whole entire discovery, the body cam, and the dash camera that showed this is a vehicle accident. Now, they've lied. They've held Mustafa in solitary confinement. They refused to put the evidence on the record. They refused to take Mustafa to trial. And they suspended the preliminary hearing. And this is a CCTV video that they abused Mustafa in the county jail when we're actively talking about how the county, the police department, falsified this case. Mustafa, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. And I just want to say that I'm being surrounded by cruel rapists. These are rapists holding a badge. Rapists. I mean, the word rapist is an understatement. These are individuals that have gotten away with murder. They attempted to murder me. I promise you, if I was weak that day, I was dead. I passed out of my cell, and I'm like, oh my God. I came back to life. I'm still alive. I pray to God. I say, God, I do not want to go. Not now. This is not the time. I have to be able to speak and tell people what's truly going on. And I reported many incidents, and I got retaliated against. The past few days, on Tuesday, with Officer Zachary Boone and Sergeant James Foster, Sergeant Anthony Thompson, and Sergeant George Lewis, when they came up next to my trace lot, what they try to do with Officer Zachary Boone, what he does is hold his body camera, he's recording. What is the reason that you guys took away the phone from me? Oh, we don't like your attitude. What's wrong with my attitude? What is the problem with me speaking? All I said is...
Oh, your attitude on the podcast. That's the attitude they're upset with. Because clearly, your attitude inside the jail, if they had anything on you, they would have written you up. They would have gotten you in trouble. But they're upset about your attitude on the podcast that you're actively talking about. Why did you falsify my police reports? They don't want the exposure. Why did you beat me inside this jail? Why am I not getting medical inside this jail?
Exactly.
That's the attitude they're not happy with.
Exactly. And I have to be my own doctor. I have to be my own therapist. I'm telling you right now, I don't know what the hell is going on, but for me to heal naturally and properly, I'm literally, my arm, Officer Anthony Noah Tipton, that's one of the 6 guys that ran up in my cell, and they smashed, like they just beat me to pieces from head to toe. That individual broke my right arm. I'm telling you, when I say broke, you can call it fractured, call it whatever you want to call it. He basically grabbed one part of my arm, my wrist, and in between the elbow to my shoulder, and crack. Oh my God. I whimpered like a dog.
On May 24, 2023, this is a picture after 2 weeks of Mustafa. We were not allowed to see Mustafa for 2 weeks after they beat him and abused him inside the jail. When we finally got to see Mustafa, this is a still image from a jail video visit where you can see Mustafa's arm 3 times the size of a normal arm. This is consistent with compounding fractures. At the time, the FBI denied it, the jail denied it, but we have evidence. And
They punched me so hard with closed fists that I blacked out. Stop. Pulled out the tasers on me. It was the most scariest moments of my life, being beat up by these giant animals. I wish I could call them human beings. I'm talking about Master Jail Officer Vincent Thompson. That individual, oh my God, his shoes is actually almost as big as like half of my body.
this
That guy
is
is humongous.
Mustafa's head, where it has multiple bumps 2 weeks after the incident. where the jail guards beat and abused Mustafa. The correctional officer that Mustafa's talking about is this guy. We went to a jail board and to talk to the sheriff and Amy Ashworth, the Commonwealth attorney, who was in charge of any abuse inside the jail. And we were essentially complaining to the abusers. They pretended nothing happened. They said nothing happened. And then just happened, after the meeting, we run into this guy. We had no idea at the time that this is the guy that is part of the beating. Let me, hang on 1 second.
Okay.
You guys are just checking too. Need to say to them, is the board meeting public or not? Because I'm confused about whether I'm allowed people. Do we advertise that the board meeting is public? If it is, are we allowed to let people in? If it isn't, maybe we should go ahead and say the truth that it's not public. Everyone co-signs.
What's your name? My name is Thompson. Thompson, you work in the jail?
Vincent Thompson.
Inside with the inmates?
So the same guy that you see here hit Mustafa on the head, kick him when he took him out of that cell unconscious, and he carried him half naked, unconscious, from one cell into another cell, where they continue to beat and abuse Mustafa and strip him completely naked, and then deny him medical. This guy.
In the middle of the whole beating, they picked me up midway in the air and slammed me face down. Just like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm floating in the air. And that giant person, or that monster, that monster was beating me up with the other guys. Stop, punch, non-stop. I'm like, oh my God, when is this going to stop? Just not stop. I thought I was dead. I'm blocking with my shoulder, with handcuffs behind my back, and they're punching, kicking, non-stop. Like, I can't exaggerate enough. Like, I've never been beat up or touched like that in my life. I mean, I'm just so appalled. And at the same time, I'm very grateful to be here. And the abuse continued. Many other incidents where they continue to do that. And just recently, where they're coming and taking the phone away from me, I swear, the PTSD is so real. Like, I know what they're capable of doing. And it's like a stick-up. Hand over the phone, or we're going to do this to you. And it's like, what the heck is this? Like, it's a gang behind a badge. Like, that's not cool.
We are here to remind these correctional officers that you will be under a microscope. You have a show dedicated for you, a whole entire segment every day, where being public official, any information on you is public. You are a public official. So we're going to start building profiles. We're going to get to know who you are, your picture, where everything about you. We're going to be best friends. As a matter of fact, we're going to bring accountability into this county jail. In the name of transparency, if you do something wrong, we're going to report it to the Department of Justice. The community is going to hear about it. I mean, you are a public official. We pay for your salary, and we entrust that you do your job, is to make sure that pre-trial detainee, we're talking about inmates, we're talking about individuals that have not had their day in court. Anybody can end up in a county jail, and to deal with monsters that are not being accounted for is a problem in our county. So we have to have some kind of transparency where we're going to work on it. It's going to take a minute to create a website and all that BS that comes with it. But in the meantime, we've got TikTok, we've got Instagram, we've got Facebook, we've got this beautiful platform, YouTube, where we come here on a podcast every day. And just like that sheriff, what's that, Missy? What's that one sheriff, Sheriff Polk? When he holds your picture and he says, this is a piece of shit. Where he goes like this. He holds a picture. He says, this is a correctional officer that abuses inmates. This correctional officer, we have his jail video. Inside the jail, where he engaged in abusing an individual that have not had their day in courts. Every day, we're going to have multiple pictures, multiple profiles, and we're going to talk about who our county jail officers are. If you do good, we're the first one to thank you for doing your job. If you abuse inmates, we're going to talk about it. And we're going to ask accountability by law. We're going to go to the Department of Justice, and all these equipment that you see are mobile. We'll take them, we'll put them in front of the Department of Justice. We'll hold our podcast. We have an army of individuals who will file complaints against you, the jail officer that's in question. And I don't know if you haven't heard, I'm no longer trespass at the jail parking lot. I beat the sheriff. I beat your sheriff. The sheriff that deputized you, that you get your authority from him. I took him to court, and in his own house, I beat him in court. He falsely arrested me, put me in handcuffs. It may be that empowered you and gave you the idea that maybe you can just, the brother is gone, we can do whatever we want. No, I am back. I beat the sheriff. 7 jurors said the sheriff falsely arrested me. I was acquitted. That was me exercising my First Amendment. We do have a First Amendment in Prince William County. This is not the United States of Sheriff going to hell. I don't know what he told you in that county jail, but it's not. I'm here to remind him and you. I can take all this equipment, put it in the jail parking lot, which I remind you, it's public property. No longer trespassed. We go there, we put our equipment, the jail is right behind us, and this community is tracking. And we're knocking on your door before the DOJ knocks on your door. Do the right thing. Do your job.
With warrants for
Do your
arrest.
job. That's all we're asking.
They're not just going to be knocking. It's going to be the marshals coming
they're going to
in
be kicking.
with
They're
warrants
going to kick that door.
for their arrest. They have to go to jail. If they don't go to jail, then you're telling me these crimes are going to go unpunished. They attempted to murder me, and they did more. But now we don't have to go into the details. We already know the truth. We already know what's going on here. But now, let me just tell you, what we could do now, in the meantime, is question why is the recreation door supposedly broken?
That's a good question. Mustafa, you haven't
Why
had
is the
rec.
recreation door broken?
They transferred you. Mustafa, they transferred you from D-Pod to C-Pod, and you haven't had rec in D-Pod for how long?
A long time. I lost count.
Over 6 months?
You have
Yeah.
1
Over 6
minute
months. So they
remaining.
finally transfer Mustafa and the other inmate to another unit, only to tell you what?
The door is broken.
Again?
Yeah, the door is not broken. The door is not broken. The door functions very well. On Tuesday, they put an inmate in there while they were doing the move list. They put an inmate in there. The door closes and opens perfectly fine. But they have a sign up that says door is broken,
Interesting.
just to insinuate that it's broken. But the
Interesting.
door is functioning. And they just don't want to take us and put us into the rec room.
And Mustafa, can you help everybody that's just joining the podcast? What is rec? You're in solitary confinement. So what does that mean? 23-hour lockdown, right? Can you help everybody understand? For those that don't know what we're talking about?
Let me hang up and call real quick.
Okay. All right. Now,
Thank you for using
we're going to
Global
be
Tel-Link.
dividing the segment. So there we go. When Mustafa calls back and joins this podcast, we're going to keep talking about this piece of shit. Anthony Vincent. Vincent, Mustafa, brother, is watching you. God help you, brother. God help you. I would not want to be in your shoes.
0. To refuse this call,
Missy.
hang up or press 1.
I do
to
not.
prevent calls from Mississippi,
God help
your current
you.
balance is
When Mustafa, brother, is
$25.22.
watching you.
This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using Global Tellink.
You and your other correctional officer that's involved in this mess, God help you guys. I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't want me on, I would not. I promise you, it's going to be a living nightmare. And I promise you, I'm operating within the law. May I remind you, I am a paralegal. I'm very well versed in the law. And you being a public official, we're going to get to know each other. Your picture, your home address, the gym that you go to, and it doesn't look like you go to a gym, but you know.
He doesn't go to a gym.
The ice cream shop that you go to, that clerk behind the counter is going to know the piece of shit you are.
No more concealing no more concealing your identity.
No more concealing your identity. If you're a piece of shit, we're going to get to know about it. As a community, we're going to hear about it.
Look, they're taking advantage of one thing. They're taking advantage of this COVID-19 bullshit, whatever. They wear a face mask. And I'm like, there is no COVID here. COVID-19 has been over a long time ago. What's the problem?
They're fantasizing. They're fantasizing that they're big and bad behind closed doors.
They covered their name tag. Look, they covered their name tag so you don't know their name. And when they cover their face so you don't know what they look like. So you can't link the face to the name and say, hey, the other day you were beating up this one inmate. You have to hold him accountable by law. We're not savages. We don't take matters in our own hand. When we see something wrong, we have to say something. That's the way I grew up in America. I got raised by my beloved, loving family. My parents, they raised me. If you see something, say something. If you see
I'm going to say a lot.
Don't say something, then you're a part of the problem.
I'm definitely going to say it. I'm not just going to say it. I'm going to be building profiles. You might want to look me up, brother. I'm an expert in profiling. And you just entered my playground, and God help you.
I'm telling you, when they come next to the
this
phone,
community is going to know who you are.
It's like a stick up. You hear me?
I hear you. We all hear you.
Yeah. Oh, okay. But what I'm saying is, when they come next to the phone cart, it's like a stick-up operation. Like they gang up on you. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Looking at them like, wow, what's going on here? We need like 6 officers to stand around to grab the phone from you. What am I going to do with the phone handle? You want the phone? Here you go. Take it. They gave me 20 minutes. 20 minutes on Tuesday. Just 20 minutes. Why? Why can't I get my time? Like everybody else, they're getting phone time. 3 hours. There's 3 phone cards upstairs, and they're circulating. Not everyone uses the phone. But why am I only getting 20 minutes? Because Officer Zachary Boone has something personal against me. And I wonder what it is. He's airing out my name, saying my whole name. I'm like, okay. So he's over here, against his professional conduct, saying my name out loud in front of all the other inmates. I'm like, okay. And then I hear other people call me derogatory terms. And he's smirking. He's aiding and abetting them calling me all these names. Baby killer, this and this and that. Child molester. What? Like, they have the audacity to call me all these names. And then his behavior is that he's aiding and abetting the comments by smirking, by saying my name out loud. He's aiding that behavior. This person antagonizes me on the low and then turns on the body camera to get a reaction from me. I tell him specifically, on body camera, on the record, I don't want to have any interaction
Do you need a
with
recording
you. You're
from
harassing
mom
me.
when she
I
talked
don't
to
want to talk to
supervisor?
you. I have the right to refuse interaction with my abusers. I have that right. Why do I have to be forced to talk to a rapist? A rapist. Just because they can get away with it, they're all covering up for each other in this dungeon of torture, that doesn't make it right. These individuals have to go to jail. If they don't go to jail, then I don't believe in America anymore. Because I've seen some things that are terrifying, and just beyond disgusting. And if the law cannot hold them accountable, then there's something wrong with this world that we live in.
Well, I'll tell you,
Believe
Mustafa.
in the rule of law.
I'll tell you, Mustafa, you have to do your job and be patient. We're doing our job in bringing... Yes, sir. Apparently Commonwealth Amy Ashworth has a common practice in this county that anytime she engaged in police misconduct and falsified police report, what she does, she hides the body cam, she hides the document, she seals off everything, and she's a jail board member, so she does have two jobs, to prosecute and a jail board member to look into this jail. Now, what she does, she looks the other way. She has correctional officers that are out of control that will abuse pre-trial detainees, inmates, individuals that she wants to prosecute. And what she does, she looks the other way. She has those individuals abused inside the county jail, solitary confinement, beating, denied medical, abuse. And she wants the condition to be so horrific that when she gives them a plea deal, because she falsified the police reports, she falsely accused them, falsified the police reports. So what does she do? She's betting on the plea deal that those individuals are so broken from the horrific treatment inside the jail that when she gives them a plea deal, they're begging her, get me the hell out of here. And that's what she's doing to you. I mean, for the past 2 years, every piece of evidence, this is a vehicle accident. God damn it, you lost your own family in this vehicle. It's a vehicle accident. Every piece of evidence it's a dash camera. Commonwealth Amy Ashworth looks the other way, hoping that this piece of shit is going to help her secure a prosecution by giving you a plea deal. Well, not on our watch, ma'am. God is there, and he's going to give Mustafa the strength. God is there, and he's going to give us the strength as a community to bring awareness to this horrific situation. And there is the Department of Justice, and I'll promise you, they're knocking on your door, ma'am. You think you're big and bad? Well, I'll promise you, Pam Bondi is just as big and bad, and she doesn't fuck around. Pam Bondi does not fuck around, man. Under Trump and everything that comes with Trump, God help you. You're a Democrat that's been abusing our community for a long fucking time. And as a matter of fact, all these fucking Republicans are just as horrible as you are. And we hope and pray that under Trump things change. We pray. We're not saying the man is perfect, but we goddamn pray. And we're doing our part on a community level. And we're not shutting up. We're going to continue to talk. We're going to continue to fight. And we're asking for justice. We're asking for transparency. Mustafa, did you know that the sheriff's office is not giving me my body cams? Did you know that?
No, I wonder why.
Well, I'll tell you. Fuck around and find out. Let me read you the communication between me and the sheriff's office. Now, it's horrific. What they're not realizing is being well versed in the law, being a paralegal. What you're doing is you're gonna make me file a lawsuit against you. That's a FOIA violation. Now, in the climate of what goes on with Amy Ashworth and how she's being sued, she already got convicted, by the way. What is it, $25,000 for a FOIA violation?
That's right.
You have 7 days. You have 7 days to release the body cams. Now you're hitting me with a code that you want 60 days? For what exactly? What exactly do you want 60 goddamn days for? You're telling me, by the way, they charged me a ridiculous fucking amount. A ridiculous fucking amount. Almost $800. Almost $800 for a bunch of body cams that you've already researched? You've already supplied my defense attorney, Blake Weiner? I have the communication. And I'm paying you for it. I went ahead and paid you for it. You hit me with a ridiculous amount. I gave it to you. And now you want to tell me you want 60 goddamn fucking days? I'm not okay with that. And I promise you, you're going to put me in a corner where I'm going to file a lawsuit for a FOIA violation. What you're telling me makes no sense. What do you need 60 days for? What do you need 60 days for when you've already looked up the body cams, supplied them to the defense attorney, the body cams have been played in court, and the case is already found not guilty? 7 jurors unanimously found me not guilty. I'm no longer trespass. I'm no longer criminally charged with a misdemeanor. What do you need 60 days for? You're pushing me in a corner. I don't want to file a lawsuit. That lawsuit is going to come out of everybody's pocket. Everybody we pay for your salary. When you're playing around with a FOIA, I'm going to have, my only recourse is to file a lawsuit for the FOIA violation. Now, I'm filing a lawsuit for you putting me in handcuffs. You put me in handcuffs. You falsely arrested me. This is a video. This is a video when I was put in handcuffs for talking about my brother. That you falsified this police report. This county. I have evidence that you falsified this police report. You did not airlift his family. I have evidence that there's police misconduct, negligence on the county's part, and now you're turning a vehicle accident into something that it's not. So I'm coming out and I'm peacefully exercising my goddamn First Amendment. We have that in this country. We have a constitution. I'm peacefully exercising the First Amendment. The sheriff comes out and puts me in handcuffs. Now I took him to court. I was found not guilty. 7 jurors got on the stand and found me not guilty based on the evidence. There's a video of the whole entire incident. Now I need my goddamn body cams. And if I don't get my body cams, I'm going to file a lawsuit. It's not reasonable under the FOIA section code, and I'll email it to you. It's not reasonable. You have to make a reasonable effort to provide me with my body cam. The amount that you told me about is not reasonable, but I paid you anyway. 60 days is not reasonable for body cams that's already been researched. For body cam that's already been supplied to the defense attorney. For body cams that's already been played in court. For a case that's no longer, and I was found not guilty. So it's not reasonable. And if I file this lawsuit, I'm going to win. And I don't need a lawyer. I'm pro se. I'm already a paralegal. I know the law. I don't want to file this lawsuit. It's coming out of everybody's fucking pocket. You have a job to do. You have a job to do. It's to protect this community. Follow the fucking law. Follow the law. Is that too much to ask? Mustafa, I love you, man. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you for being here. Yes, sir. You know, I'll tell you, Mustafa, I'll tell you what one of the communication emails that I had with Captain Crespo, Kelly M. Crespo. That's the captain that I'm communicating that's in charge of the FOIA. He says the reason it's almost $800 is because we're a small agency. A small agency? Well, when they came out to arrest me, the sheriff brought 9 deputies for a false arrest. What am I doing here? This is public property. There's a bench. There's a tree. There's an ashen tray. There's no signs that says no public property. It's private property. It's public property. The jury told you this is public property. I was found. May I remind you, for everybody that's joining in, or anybody that wants to troll the conversation, that wants to defend the sheriff, may I remind you, I was found not guilty by the jury. Acquitted. 7 unanimously, Mustafa, 7.
Unanimously.
Not 1, not 2, 7. Unanimously acquitted. Now.
That means now you can sue.
Of course I'm going to sue. You goddamn right I'm going to sue. You falsely arrested me. In this video, you bent my arm. Use excessive force when I'm giving you my arm. I'm not resisting, but you bent my arm, and I'm telling you 5 times that you're breaking my arm. You assaulted my sister because you didn't want her to record the incident, which you on the stand you lied. If I didn't have the video, I would have been in jail right now. You know I was threatened with a year in jail because of this incident. Now, Captain Crespo, Kelly M. Crespo, with Prince William County Department Sheriff Office, the one that handles the FOIA, tells me we're a small agency because under FOIA, under the law, you have to make a reasonable effort. And $800 is not reasonable for a bunch of body cams that's already been researched and supplied to the defense attorney. Now, he tells me, I tell him, can you explain to me why it's $800? Because it has to be reasonable. He says, we're a small agency, and that's why I have to charge you this much. Well, Captain Crespo, your sheriff, Sheriff Glenn Hill, didn't feel that this is, sure, it doesn't look like it's a small agency when he brings out 9 deputy sheriffs to put me in handcuffs. 9. For an individual on public property exercising a First Amendment, and he's not resisting. I mean, every time I watch this video, I am confused. Why the show of force? But I'll tell you why. What they're attempting to do is not only intimidate me and put fear in my heart, is to intimidate and put fear in the community's heart. On my own platform, they brought out 9 deputies. Sheriff Glenn Hill. For a small agency, he brought out 9 deputies to show this community that in this community, in this town, this is not the United States. This is the United States of Sheriff Glenn Hill. And in this town, in Prince William County, the city of Manassas, a First Amendment does not exist. That if you do come out, this is the outcome. This is what you have to deal with. And he's putting fear in the community's heart. Well, I'll tell you, sir, fuck around and find out. You already found out in court. You took the stand. I have the recording where you lied. I have the recording. I put it on the internet. The sheriff lied. I took the stand, and 7 jurors found me unanimously. I got acquitted. Not guilty. The community told you that you're a piece of shit. That you violated the First Amendment. In this community, we do have a First Amendment. Now I'm coming for you, Sheriff. By law, I'm gonna file a lawsuit. You falsely arrested me. You violated my First Amendment. You assaulted my sister in the process when she's recording. And you bent and almost broke my arm. For someone that's not resisting. And now you want to violate my body cams? You don't want to give me my body cams? God help you, sir. Maybe you can mess around and do this to someone that's not well versed in the law. I don't know what they told you about me, that Casey Stevens took my money and I don't have... Well, sir, may I remind you that I'm well versed in the law. I've got a giant voice that I can stand in court and litigate and represent myself. You saw and you heard about me taking the stand. Oh, you, Mustafa, you should have seen it. The jury fell in love with me. I've got a giant voice, and I can litigate. Now, I'm going to represent myself pro se. I know how to write my motion, and you don't want to see me in court, sir. I promise you. Do not push me. I don't want to. But do not push me into filing a lawsuit. A small agency, he says. Do not push me and have me file a lawsuit for a FOIA. Because I'm going to win. I promise you I'm going to win. But you're taking money out of everybody's pocket. Why? You have an obligation. You have a job to do. Protect this community. Not protect a corrupt sheriff. Kelly Crespo, Captain Kelly Crespo. May I remind you the oath that you took to protect this community. Not a corrupt sheriff. You know he's corrupt. According to Elaine, he wears a diaper. A 7-year-old man that wears a diaper. Your sheriff, Captain, how do you feel working for the sheriff that's corrupt, a liar, and wears a diaper? I love you, Mustafa. I love you. You take care of yourself. We're going to continue to fight on the outside, and I promise you, your voice will be heard. Mustafa, I'm going to give the last minute to your mom. Mustafa, I love you, man, okay? I'll talk to you later.
I love you too. I want to tell everybody I love you all for support. Yeah. And just a message for the diddlers on the outside. Glenn Ford, the rapist, he's going to go to jail. Amy Hodgson, she's definitely going to go to jail. Robert Trump for falsifying the police report, and his wife for utilizing the police department resources and falsifying as well, aiding and abetting. All the correctional officers that put their hands on inmates that are vulnerable under the color of law, violating our 8th Amendment and the Constitution, are going to go to jail. On that note, I just want to say good night. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Mustafa, I love you. I love you. Take care of yourself. Okay, we'll talk tomorrow.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. Take care.
مع السلامة حبيبتي. مع السلامة.
Thank you for using Global Tellink.
I think we covered a lot today. Though I wish we had more time so I can cover. There's a lot that I need to cover. I was going to go into the audio from the proceeding. Well, let's listen to it really quick. And then we can dive into what the prosecutor says in courts. Let's see. And there's a segment on here. We'll have a dedicated podcast for the whole entire proceeding. But there's a segment in here that is so terrifying where this prosecutor flat out is lying about everything. Every single thing that she says, I have evidence to show that she lied. I mean, that's, if I was a prosecutor, I would be terrified. Let's listen to, let's see, Bond. And this bond hearing was on August 7, 2023. And I want to specifically go to a timestamp at 31. There we go. Now, is that 26? No, it's 26, not 31. So this is August 7, 2023. She says involuntary manslaughter. That's what they're charging him with at the time.
And his dead girlfriend, Dorothy Fontaine, and her 5-year-old daughter, Empress Fontaine, were headed to the cemetery in the early evening hours. Yeah,
with the so what I'm gonna ask everybody to switch over to YouTube because so I've got all these equipment. They're connected to YouTube, but they're not connected to TikTok. So if you tune in to our YouTube channel, you'll hear the audio a lot better because what I'm doing, I'm putting this cell phone right next to the microphone. We'll post this. We're going to post it, and we're going to dissect it into details. Let me see. Maybe I can play it. It's louder. It's a little bit louder on here. Let's see. Let's see. Waiting for this to. All right. While this uploads, there we go. Life is beautiful. Life is always beautiful. All right, so 26. We go 26. All right. There we go. Put that here. All right, so it's going to come a lot more clear on YouTube, but I think this iPad is a little bit louder, so it's going to come out better. We'll see. We will see. Almost there. Sarah! Is Sarah listening? I'm sure she is. We're being told that they're monitoring every word that we say on our YouTube channel. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, all I want them is to listen. Prosecutor, can you see me? Can you see me? Look at this guy. He's out of control, prosecutor. He's out of control. I'm here to tell you, yes, I am. I am out of control. I am your worst goddamn nightmare. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I've outdone myself. I've got your body cams. I've got your discovery. The material that you see, the dash camera that you're terrified that the community is going to be watching. I've got your goddamn voice. Prosecutor, I'm out of control. And apparently, I've got deputy sheriff that are supplying you with videos of court proceeding. Judge Weimer! Judge Weimer, apparently, this prosecutor has something on you, and you don't have to take my word for it. When you hear this proceeding, throughout the proceeding, you'll start picking up on something. Now, this is the conclusion I'm reaching. And once you hear the proceedings, you're going to start picking up on that this prosecutor has something on this judge. I mean, when a low-level prosecutor, when a young, low-level prosecutor stands up in court and says, challenging the judge decision and tells him, Judge Weimer, may I remind you, the Commonwealth attorney will not be happy with you. I've never seen this in my life. I mean, a young low-level prosecutor, Prosecutor Sarah Sammy, doesn't know her head from her feet. Half the time she walks in zigzag motion. I kid you not. Dumb and confused. She has the audacity to stand in court and challenge the judge's decision and threaten him. This was a threat. What do you have on this judge, lady? How many times did he grab it? I just want to know. How many times did you let him grab it behind the bench that you feel comfortable to stand in court and threaten a judge? Judge Weimer, you shouldn't have grabbed it, sir. Can we stop beating behind the bench? Is that too much to ask? Can we ask you to do your job? I mean, unfortunately for you, we have the audio proceeding, and the community is going to hear what is happening behind closed doors. I mean, last time I checked, this is a public hearing. Why the extra security? They have a giant machine at the door. I mean, you should see it. It's a giant apparatus, a giant machine. It's like a giant refrigerator. They have wheels on this thing. It unfolds, and they scan you from head to toe. So, Sheriff, you know I'm not recording. It must feel horrible to know your own deputies are working against you. They're supplying me with these recordings. They're supplying me with videos. Where now the judge is compromised. What he does behind closed doors is no longer done behind closed doors. They promised this judge that, sir, whatever you do, no one's going to hear it. We're going to lie about the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, and we just want you to look the other way, sir. And in the process, she let him grab it more than a couple of times. I guess. I don't know. Do you blame me for coming to that conclusion? I mean, I'm not judging you, sir. I'm just saying, can you grab it on your own time? Can you? You got the sheriff grabbing Judge Jeanette Irby. You got the prosecutor, Sammy, being grabbed by Judge White. What is going on in this county? What is going on in this county? Now, I get a letter from, let's see, Blake. Blake sent me an email that he got from the sheriff's lawyer, Pandak. And he tells me, this is on March 17 during my trial with the sheriff. And these are intimidation tactics, by the way. They know I've got a giant voice. I've got a giant platform. I'm going to talk about things that I see. I don't shut up. I talk. If I see you do something wrong, I'm going to talk about it. So, in the middle of my proceeding, the middle of trial, the sheriff's lawyer, Pandak, sends an email to my defense attorney, Blake Weiner. So I get a text from Blake. He says, I'm sending you the below as a courtesy. I do not want to discuss this as this is a civil issue and I represent you in a trespass criminal matter because the sheriff arrested me and he criminally charged me with a misdemeanor. So he's telling me, this is what I'm representing you with. I'm not representing you with anything else. And this currently has nothing to do with your trespass criminal matter. I will advise you, though, as your lawyer in this criminal matter, that making public statements about judges in your case like this may have unforeseen consequences. I mean, what worse can you do for me than bring me a retired judge? They brought me Jeanette Irby, a judge out of retirement. I swear to God, Sheriff Glen Hill literally went in there, opened a coffin, took out a vampire, put him behind the bench. That's what I got. And she's doing exactly what the sheriff wants him to do. Regardless of the evidence, she's ruling for the sheriff. And I have evidence. So I don't understand. What unforeseen consequence can you do more? Can they do more than what they're already doing? He says that making public statement about judges in your case like this may have unforeseen consequences. Okay. You must have not heard about me. Okay. The Commonwealth has advised, he's talking about Amy Ashworth, has advised the judge that you're making comments about her. So Amy Ashworth took it upon herself, the lady that's using a police officer that falsified my brother police reports, police department that weaponized kids, lied to kids, abused kids, weaponized kids against my brother, chopped up a vehicle, staged it, cut a dash camera and muted it, hid and concealed all body cams, dash camera, and document. That Commonwealth took it upon herself to listen to my podcast and reached out to Jeanette Irby, Judge Jeanette Irby, that's presiding over my case, and told her about what I'm saying on the podcast. How disturbing. Do you need more proof that they're watching this podcast? Okay. Great. I pray that they're watching the evidence that I'm releasing on this podcast and instead worried about what my conclusions are about the sexual relationship between the judge and the sheriff. I mean, they're worried about that, but they're not worried about that. They're not worried about when I release a video of my brother get carried unconscious from one cell into another cell, but they're worried about what I say and what my opinions are in the sexual relationship between the sheriff and the judge. I mean, I don't understand this. It's weird. That is weird. That's not more important. A pretrial detainee, an inmate, an individual that had not had his day in court, that there's evidence that police reports are falsified, is being dragged unconscious from one cell into another cell, half naked, unconscious, and there he's still being assaulted as he's getting carried into another cell, and they strip him naked, beat him, and abuse him, and deny him medical in the other cell. That's not worthy. That's not important enough to address. Instead, you address my segment in the podcast where I'm talking about Judge Jeanette Irby and Sheriff Glenn Hill relationship. That's what you're worried about? I mean, for the love of God, someone reach out to me and tell me that this is making sense. So the Commonwealth has advised the judge that you're making comments about her. I advise you not to do that. And he sends me the email. The email says, so this is by Sharon Pandak. Sharon Pandak has two roles. She's the lawyer for Sheriff Glenn Hill, and she's the lawyer representing our county jail. So Sharon Pandak writes to Blake Weiner, my defense attorney, I am writing in my capacity as counsel for Sheriff Hill. The attached podcast by your client makes comments which include that Judge Irby has a sexual relationship with the sheriff. These are malicious lies. Well, if they're lies, then you have nothing to worry about. I mean, lady, this is what I'm seeing, and these are the conclusion I'm coming to. I mean, what do you call a retired judge that comes out of retirement and is, regardless of the evidence, rule for the sheriff?
To your opinion.
That's my opinion. These are my opinions, and they fall under my First Amendment. And do I have evidence? Of course I do. Of course I do. So I welcome a lawsuit. Now, guess why she won't file a lawsuit? Missy, give me a wild guess why she's not going to file a lawsuit for defamation. Take a wild guess.
Because they're guilty as sin.
Not just that. The conclusions that I'm reaching are based on events that took place in court that's on the record. That's one. Two, I will be able to subpoena the sheriff's cell phone and her cell phone. Now, in those communications are communications about police misconduct, jail abuse, and
You're a step ahead. They need to understand that.
Well, Missy, where the sheriff coached his deputy sheriffs to lie for him in court. And there are communication that's going to come out because of it. That's why they're not filing a civil lawsuit.
They're really not very smart if they don't know who you are by now, you know?
You know, I'll tell you, they're so used to, they're so comfortable, and they've been doing it for a long time, abuse this community, and they come out to the community like they're not doing anything wrong. And they, by the way, they abuse and beat up on a portion of the community that does not have the money to fight them back. And the portion of the community that does have the means to fight them back, they'll send them lawyers that will take their money, $20,000, $50,000, just like that, and then deplete them out of resources, and now you're at their mercy. I mean,
they've used every trick in the book. They're running out of tricks.
They're running out of tricks. And what's that one commercial with the rabbit? Tricks is for kids. I'm that rabbit. And it's like taking candy from a baby. Sheriff Glenn Hill, it's like, you're the baby, and I'm taking that candy right out of your hands. That's Mustafa Brother. Now, Missy, let me read.
Brother for sure.
You know, this is wild. This is so weird. I mean, I'm looking at all this and it's weird. Missy, let me finish this for you.
It's crazy.
It is. It's crazy. And then she says, I strongly urge you to have your client take this podcast and any others with similar allegation on it off the internet immediately, and to remove all copies of it from the internet. Please advise me when this has been done. Sharon Pandak. And then she has a law firm, I guess. Her law firm is Pandax and Taves, Taves, LLP LLC. Lady, who's gonna hire me? I really want to really find out who's gonna hire me. So I write back. So Missy, I write back. I write back. This is what I write back. I will not. Oh no, he writes that. He writes to me. He said, I will not be discussing this with this woman either. So Blake says, this is what Blake is telling me. He's calling her a woman. He's angry. Okay? I will not be discussing this with this woman either. I mean, he's angry because he's representing me in my trespass matter. That is a criminal matter. And now she's emailing him to tell me about something that's a civil matter. I mean, lady, he's representing. So he's already like upset. You know, why are you bothering me with this? Go talk to him. You can directly talk to him. He has a podcast. He has an email. He's on Facebook. He's in your jail parking lot.
Yeah.
So he wants her.
Say something, why don't you?
Yeah. So he's annoyed. He said, I will not be discussing this with this woman either. And then he says, this has nothing to do with me. I will not be getting into this conversation about this. I don't want to talk to you about it. I don't want to talk to her about it. Okay. I don't want to be in this. Okay.
Would you want to be in it? He's going, oh man.
The guy is scared. You know, Blake is. I mean, look at what this county has done to Elaine Jarvis for coming out and publicly talking about the jail. Her crime, as she said, this jail is a horrible jail, abused Mustafa, and this county falsified this police report. Look at what happened to her. So, do you blame the guy? The guy is just like, can you please just leave me out of it? So it's it's sad. You know what's really sad?
Basically, they put the fear in all of them. I mean, they can ruin them.
You know what's really sad is, and this is my, and this is, it's really sad because this is my thing with Blake Weiner. You went to school. You worked hard for your bar license. For what exactly? To get intimidated by a sheriff? I mean, I thought you fight police misconduct. I mean, what you should have told her, we'll get into, there's a whole entire Blake file. We'll open it at one point because, the Blake file is very important into the Mustafa Al-Jazari file and what has been done to Mustafa under Blake. We'll open that file at one point. Now, this is what he said. He doesn't want to be... My thing with Blake is, you worked hard for your bar license, and you pride yourself in fighting police misconduct. You're going to let her intimidate you? You're going to let her talk to you like that? You're going to say, I don't want to have anything to do... That's your client. That is your client. And then so I tell him, please tell her I will absolutely not shut up. This is my response to Blake. About what they're doing. As a matter of fact, I'm doubling down on this judge behavior behind the bench. I'm even thinking about filing a civil suit pro se against her and the sheriff, and I will subpoena their cell phone communication. What this judge did behind the bench and how she ruled regardless of the evidence is absolutely not acceptable. That's my response.
I love it. They think they're playing around with somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. And they met their match.
I mean, is this their first rodeo? I mean, Pandak, man. Pandak! Sheriff! I mean, did you really think that I'm going to get intimidated when you intimidate my lawyer? As a matter of fact, what I was getting ready to do is fire the lawyer and represent myself pro se. I mean, if I were going to be coerced through my lawyer, that's exactly what I was going to do.
You are a way far better attorney than any of them that you've had.
And that's what they're not used to. They're used to beating up on individuals that don't know the law, don't know their rights, and they deplete. Yeah, they took my money. I give them that.
And you're an investigative attorney.
Missy,
you done your stuff.
Missy, I give them that. They took my money. Send me a lawyer, pretended to be a lawyer, but found out he's working with the county. Okay, all right. But look how far we've come. Pandak, man, fuck around and find out. I'll promise you, I'm gonna hold your sheriff accountable. I know she she retired. Well, she put in her resignation, and they told her, we need you just a little bit longer to make it look like they're keeping her around. I mean, she got fired. She got fired immediately after she lost the case when in court. I took her sheriff to court, and I was found not guilty. Her job was to protect the sheriff. So all of a sudden, she's resigning. That vampire, I got that vampire to resign. So he tells me, Blake tells me, I will not be telling her anything. So I started laughing. I put a laugh at his comment. And I will not be discussing this with you or anyone else further. I mean, this is, it's...
I mean, they have reason to be scared, honestly.
It's sad. Exactly.
You've done the work.
It's sad.
Every piece of proof there is, I swear.
It's really sad, Missy, it's really sad when a lawyer, a whole entire lawyer, has a bar license, worked hard for the bar license, everything, is intimidated or is allowed to be intimidated by a county. That's sad. But, I mean, my job is, when I run into a situation, I'm going to talk about it. And the community is listening. If you're a piece of shit, if you're a good person, the community is a deciding factor. I mean, and the problem here with this conversation is it's not my word against their word. I've got evidence where the community is watching, body cams, a dash camera, audio, documents, files, and I'm releasing it, and the community is listening. Lakeisha, hello. Thank you for being here, ma'am. I love you.
Videos are like...
there's a lot... I'll tell you, there's a lot that's happening. But, I don't want to drag this podcast over 2 hours. There is a section in the podcast that I want to play really quick. This is from the bond hearing. Lakeisha, thank you for being here, ma'am. There is a lot that I need to tell you and update you with. I'll reach out. I'll find the time to reach out. But thank you for being here. A lot of stuff that's going to get you angry. Upset. Angry. But, I'll tell you, we're dealing with it. And these individuals have no choice but to follow the law. Captain Crespo, Sheriff Department, I'm talking about you, sir. Talking about you. Do your job, sir. Do your job. You don't want me to file a civil lawsuit for a FOIA violation. I don't want to. We're going to listen to the... So, moving on from this segment. There is a really funny video that I want to play for everybody. And this is my conversation with Captain Crespo with the Sheriff Department. And but if I can find it, I don't know if I'm going to find it. It's remember that one video that went viral about this Irish girl telling her boyfriend, I don't want to, I don't blah blah blah, I'm going back to my father. And she's like really upset, but she's like saying it in an Irish tone, an Irish accent. Hang on. Irish girl, and that's what I'm putting on YouTube. Irish girl tell her boyfriend. They're on a metro, and the way she goes off on her boyfriend, and her boyfriend is just sitting in the background, like saying nothing. But her Irish accent is really funny. This is what this conversation sounds like when I'm telling Captain Crespo, I don't want to file a civil lawsuit. I don't want to, but don't push me to do it. It'll really drive the point home. If I can find it. And if I can't find it, it will be really sad. Because then everybody's looking at me like, what the hell is he talking about? But that's okay. You guys are used to.
We wonder that anyways, you know, what the hell is he talking about?
We've come a long way from.
If you miss a day, you get confused.
You know.
Like, you find something new every freaking day, I swear to God.
You know, Missy, we've come a long day. If you've been with us for as long as this case has been going on, I'm sure you've seen worse. Come on.
Yeah. I'm gonna put some of it probably on the WhatsApp group thing.
Please do, and I'll if you just post it to the TikTok, tag my account, even better.
I don't want to get in no trouble. I have some stuff that's never been posted.
We've come a long way from earning a title of being a barefooted monkey in a jail parking lot, camping. Look how far we've come. Sheriff Crespo. Yeah. I don't know if I ever met you, but I'm sure you know about me. I mean, I've lived in your jail parking lot for a long time before your sheriff put me in handcuffs. Now,
you were the talk of the place, okay? They see you every day. They see you every night. You don't leave.
You know, Missy, Sheriff Crespo, I've never met you, but I wonder if you were one of the 5 deputies, sheriff deputies, that after they put me in handcuffs, Sheriff Bishop took me into a room where you were one of those deputies, where I have just about 5 sheriff deputies breathing down my neck, intimidating me as if they were going to do something. That I genuinely felt fear. And I kept on telling them, Sheriff Deputy, is your body cam on? Is your body cam on? Can you identify yourself, Deputy? And they would breathe down to my neck. I'm in handcuffs. And they would tell me, we do not have to turn on body cams. And they're intimidating me as if they're gonna unalive me right there and then. I wonder, Captain Crespo, if you were one of those deputies. Because there was a seasoned deputy in the background. Tall, white guy.
Well, there was a herd of them.
So I wonder why, that's why you don't want those body cams to be released. There was a lot of events that took place after I was handcuffed, that this community, and may I remind you, Captain, that under the FOIA, I can file a civil lawsuit, and I can make the argument, for the good of the community, these body cams have to be released. Because, 1, a First Amendment was violated, a false arrest took place, excessive force took place, and for the good of the community, an argument I could bring up this argument in court. For the good of the community, so this does not happen again, these body cams have to be viewed by the community. You know.
It was a false arrest. I mean,
false arrest, and I was found not guilty. I was unanimously acquitted by 7 jurors. So if the point that I'm trying to make is, if I file a lawsuit, I'm going to win. I know I'm going to win. You know I'm going to win. Your mother knows I'm going to win. Everybody knows I'm going to win. That poor mother, does she know what you do in this building as a sheriff, as a deputy sheriff? You have a choice, sir. I hope you were not. I hope you were not.
She won't like it.
You know, Missy, I hope he was not one of those deputies that were in that room. I hope. But I'm just putting one and two together. Why would you not need those body cams released? Unless you're one of them. You have a choice, sir. I hope you're not one of those deputies. And you have a choice. You can protect a corrupt sheriff that will falsely arrest, that will violate the First Amendment. You don't have to take my word for it. I was found not guilty by 7 jurors. So this is not an opinion anymore. You know, Missy, this is not an opinion anymore. You know, I remember a lot of trolls will troll the conversation and will tell you, will defend the sheriff violating the First Amendment. Well, it's not an opinion anymore. 7 jurors unanimously acquitted me and said, I'm not guilty. Look at the videos. Listen to the audio of the sheriff. Did he lie? Yes, he did. We have an audio.
Facts are facts.
Facts are facts. Can't find this video, but maybe I'll post it to TikTok. Why can't I find this video? It went viral like maybe 10 years ago. No wonder you can't find it.
I probably did see it 10 years ago. Shelly says that's why they're trying to be your friend again. LOL.
Which one? You're talking about Kate 0707, the wife of the investigator who pretends to be Kate 0707. Or are we talking about Amy Hodgson on a body cam, the individual that pretend to be a witness who says, I didn't see anything, I wasn't there, is on a body cam, but she's on here as Christine Warda 7, and she tells people, my name is Christine Alkuzai. 1 minute she's Iraqi, 1 minute she's Hungarian. Well, you're definitely Hungary because we have your picture. By the way, she never turns on her camera. One day, she came a little bit, you know how when you put a picture on TikTok, you don't turn on your camera, but you accidentally come a little bit too close, this goddamn thing popped up. I swear to God. What the hell is this?
She walked in front of it.
One day she's Iraqi, one day she's Hungarian, where you're definitely Hungary. It's a mess. Shelly, Missy, it is a mess. It doesn't look like I can...
While she's hungry.
Huh?
She's eating the whole time she's hungry.
Oh, she's always chewing. She is always chewing. And by the way, we'll get into that. Oh, this is Kate. Kate 0707, the wife of the investigator, who pretends.
And if it's not, she should come up on camera.
Prove me wrong. Turn on your goddamn camera and prove me wrong. I know how you love.
I've never seen her.
I know, Missy, I know how she loves proving me wrong. You know what I find really interesting? I posted my podcast from 2 days ago, and I tagged her in it. And then I even tagged Dre. I tagged somebody. I tagged the other troll, Dewey Girl. And I called them out. I said, come out and play.
Yeah.
I called them out. I put her name. I said, blah, blah, blah. I said she's the wife of the investigator. Prove me. She never replied. She didn't even reply. Missy, she didn't even reply to it. That's how scared she is. And for those that are not understanding what I'm talking about, Mustafa's case has been going on for 2 years. There's a wife of an investigator that is on the internet using Prince William County resources. She's on the body cam, and her husband.
Here every single day.
Her husband, yes, ma'am. Her husband falsified the police report. The police officers engaged in weaponizing kids against Mustafa. It's child abuse. They lied to the kids. They weaponized the kids that loved Mustafa, and that wife is on a body cam on three-way when the husband is on a phone call with an individual that pretend to be a witness. It's a mess. And those two individuals that I just put their pictures are the same individuals that's on the internet. Now, it's been 2 years. The federal government is heavily investigating this county, and they're looking into police misconduct, falsified police report. Why is Mustafa in jail for 2 years in solitary confinement, beaten, abused, denied medical with no trial, and the evidence is not on their record? There's a lot that they're investigating. There's a lot that goes into this case. So what she's doing, her and the witness, the wife of the investigator, Stephanie Claiborne Drum, who pretends to be Kate 0707, who every day for the past 2 years is on the internet trolling the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. This is her. Is now coming to the conclusion and realizing that the federal government caught up with them. Body cams and documents all over the internet. These documents are sealed by the county, by the police department, are sealed. So, but the reality of the situation is they're all over the internet now. And her voice is on the internet. The federal government is investigating her and investigating the fake witness. And what they're doing is they're attempting to distance themselves from each other and pretend that they're arguing. That somehow, supposedly, that Kate 0707, Stephanie Claiborne, just found out that this lady is a horrible monster, and we're gonna pretend that they're pretending that they're arguing. And Kate, the wife of the investigator, is reaching out to me, is attempting to tell me I'm not the wife of the investigator. Amar, you have this all wrong. We should be friends. And what she's doing, she wants to distance herself from the case. She wants to tell the federal government and who is ever investigating is that Kate 0707 is not Stephanie Claiborne. Distance herself from Amy Hassan, Christina Al-Khazai. Be my friend and say, look, Kate 0707 is friends with Mustafa's brother. There is no way that this is Stephanie Claiborne, the wife of the investigator. Otherwise, how is Kate friends with Mustafa's brother? Lady, do you think we're dumb? Honestly. How naive do you think we are? I mean, you've got individuals here that's been tracking this case for over a year and a half. They've heard your voice. They've heard what you've been saying. And now, all of a sudden, they hear your body cam on the internet. They don't have to take my word for it. They're listening to your body cam on the internet. It's kind of difficult to say it's not you when your voice is on a body cam. Now, I have another individual that's been tracking the case for over a year and a half. She sent me documents that you've been releasing pictures from the discovery. Pictures of Mustafa's vehicle on the internet. Now, how do you know it's not me that released it? Well, every time I release a picture or a body cam, I always put a seal on it. If you notice the watermark, the Free Mustafa Al-Jazari in light in the background, this is my way of tracking what's being on the internet. So if it gets released, someone else is releasing sealed material. Now, if you're not the wife of the investigator, how are you in possession of the pictures that Robert Drum, your husband, took on his Nokia camera and uploaded to evidence.com in the Mustafa Al-Jazari file? It's kind of hard to say you're not the wife of the investigator when you're releasing sealed picture from the investigator's camera. Let's put all this to the side. God damn it, lady. All you have to do is turn on your camera and prove me wrong. How hard is it? I mean,
it's not that hard. Just
look at me.
do it.
I mean, look at me. I have my camera on and I'm goddamn bald.
My camera's on.
You have a beautiful hair.
So you are. You've been here for a long time.
You have beautiful hair, okay? Please, do not compare yourself to me. Is Kate bald? There are wigs. We can put together where we can ship you a wig out of Amazon. I mean, how hard is it to prove you wrong? Turn on your camera and show us. I know you like to prove me wrong. Show us that it's not you. Makes sense, right? I mean, I'm just, what am I saying that's wrong? I'm not attacking you personally, lady. I mean, prove it. I mean, this is a valid conversation.
Prove who you are.
Now, Missy, this is a body cam where you get to hear Investigator Robert Drum, the one that falsified the police report, is talking to Amy Hodgson, Christine Alcazar, and in the background, he's on three-way with his wife, K0707. Let me play the... Stephanie Claiborne Drum, K0707 is probably in the background. It's like, please don't let him find it. Please don't let him find it. Oh, God damn it, he found it. Kate, I found it. Stephanie, better yet, why am I talking to you? Drum, I've got your drum. Robert, can we call each other on first name basis? It's been 2 years. It's been over 2 years. Can I call you Robert? I think I could call you Robert. Your wife has been on my God for 2 years. I don't blame her. You did falsify the police report. And she's trying to save you from getting exposed. But you gotta admit, she has a limit. So when she's asking for divorce, when Kate goes up to you and says, I want a goddamn divorce. I can't do this anymore. Robert, what did you do? I can't cover up for you. Do you know who I'm going up against? That's Mustafa's brother. The sheriff says he's animated. Yes, I am. I am animated. That's what the Sheriff Glenn Hill says in court. He says Mustafa's brother is animated. What does that even mean? I mean, I am animated.
Well, you're passionate. I would say you're passionate.
Look, I am animated.
You have the truth behind you.
We have trial with Sheriff Glenn Hill.
Missy, I am animated. My TikToks, when I post a video, there's a beautiful feature on there that you can animate the video. So
yeah, I know.
I'm just living up to the reputation. On that note, let's play the body cam of Kate 0707. The wife of the investigator.
Opioid use, withdrawal, and cravings. Sublocade is for adults with moderate to severe.
Yes, sir. Hello. Hi, Dale. Is this Amy Hodgson? No, this is Dale. Okay, well, I got a phone call in reference to a Miss Hodgson. She called in and used this number for us to call her back. Oh, okay, no problem. Yeah, let me get her for you. Thank you. Okay.
Actually, let me do this. I've got a better idea. A better idea. So that way, kind of drive the point home. It's all about being visual, right? To kind of drive the point home a little bit better when you see who you're listening to. You got a microphone here, beautiful microphone. You can play it on this iPad. And then in the background, you have a picture. Drum, I have your wife. I hope you don't get offended, but I think we're just a little bit past beyond that.
And I'm going to forward this email I got to you right now. Miss Hodgson.
I'm going to play from the beginning.
Yes, sir.
This is weird, by the way. This is weird. The investigator has his wife, who doesn't work for the police department, on three-way while he's talking to an individual who's identifying herself as a witness, but the longer the conversation goes, she says, I wasn't there, I don't know Mustafa. Then what are you a witness of? You're not there, you don't know Mustafa. What are you talking about? And then we find both of these people on the internet trolling the case. It's weird.
Hodgson? No, this is Danielle. Okay, well, I got a phone call in reference to a Miss Hodgson. She called in and used this number for us to call her back. Oh, okay, no problem. Yeah, let me get her for you. Thank you. Okay. And I'm going to forward this email I got to you right now. Miss Hodgson.
I'm going to forward the email that I got from this individual that I'm talking to you. Why? How? What do you mean? You're going to forward this to your wife who doesn't work for the police department? I mean, talk about police misconduct. This is police misconduct. And then we find her on the internet, trolling the case, releasing sealed material. No wonder she's terrified.
Yes. My name is Investigator Drum. I work for the Princeton County Sheriff's Unit. I got a very interesting email from you, or at least a email from Communications about information you had in reference to the crash that occurred the other night. Yes. So, can you tell me what you know? I can. Can you give me 1 second and let me? Can you give me 1 second? Absolutely. Okay. Thank you. 1 second.
You let me take a shit first.
She eats enough.
I need to grab a donut first. Hang on.
You got your email open?
She eats enough. How many?
I stepped out of class.
Let's listen to that one more time. Let's listen to that one more time. You got your email open? No. I gotta take class. Lady, your voice is on the internet. You sound like a sloth. That's what you sound like. That's her. Listen.
You got your email open?
No, I stepped out of class. Take your call.
That's not
Kate?
Kate?
About the accident. She said it was planned by the husband.
How does she know that?
Yeah, I'm going to ask those questions.
That's not Kate?
Oh my gosh.
That is not Kate? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? You got the wife of the investigator on three-way?
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Doesn't work for the police department. And now she's on the internet. No wonder you're terrified. No wonder you're scared. Now you want to pretend you're arguing with this fat fuck. And distance yourself. There's a federal investigate. The county is being investigated. Your husband is being investigated. Fuck around, find out. The best is yet to come.
Good. So tell me how you know, tell me how you know Miss Dorothy. Okay, I don't know her. I know one of her daughters. You know one of her daughters? Her older daughter.
What did you just tell me?
Okay.
You don't know Dorothy? You know her daughter?
Okay, I don't know her. I know one of her daughters. You know one of her daughters? Her older daughter, Kylie.
Kylie. We have evidence that Kylie, we have an audio recording where Kylie went up to the ex-boyfriend and told him, by the way, an audio by the ex-boyfriend is saying that Kylie, the 16-year-old, came up to him and asked him to unalive Mustafa. This is before the vehicle accident. The vehicle accident, where we have today a vehicle accident, and the police are saying there is brake failure. Who tampered with Mustafa's brakes? We're going to find out. There are things that are happening behind closed doors. And we're going to get to the bottom of it. Who is Kylie? Oh, wait a minute. Kylie doesn't live with her mom, doesn't live with Mustafa. She lives with her dad. Wait a minute. Her dad, who is her dad? We're finding out that her dad he pierces all the strippers for a club owner that had a problem with Mustafa before Mustafa met her mom, Dorothy. Mustafa's relationship is 3 months long with Dorothy before the vehicle accident. This is 3 months long. The whole entire relationship. Mustafa's relationship with Dorothy is 3 months long. 3 months long. 1 month before Mustafa met Dorothy, Mustafa had there was a giant problem with a club owner. Mustafa was out in a parking lot promoting his business, and this club owner took it upon himself to remove Mustafa from the parking lot. It's illegal. That's not your parking lot. Mustafa is making money, promoting his company, and this guy comes out and he wants to kick Mustafa out. So this goes viral. This goes viral. Yeah, Missy, this goes viral, and the community start boycotting this establishment. The community start boycotting. Angry men. I mean, this is unacceptable in our community. So this goes viral. The community start boycotting this guy being racist, to Mustafa. And this is, by the way, this is a month before Mustafa met Kylie. Before Mustafa met Dorothy, Kylie's mom. 1 month. We had no idea. Mustafa had no idea that Dorothy's daughter, her dad, pierces all the strippers for the club owner. He owns a strip club. So Kylie is being used by the county to say a lot of negative things about Mustafa. Kylie tells you, I was not there, I didn't see anything. But Mustafa abused my mother, abused the kids. That's what Kylie's saying, the 16-year-old. The same girl that went up to the ex-boyfriend, Glenn Ford, and said, can we unalive Mustafa and make it look like an accident? So now we're finding out that her dad works for the club owner. The one that's upset about him going viral in the community, boycotting his establishment. This is an audio recording. This is an audio recording where a private investigator went out, sat down with the ex-boyfriend, Glenn Ford. This is Glenn Ford. She went out, sat down with Glenn Ford, and on an audio recording, Glenn Ford says that she came up to him and asked him to unalive Mustafa. Listen.
She wanted me to shoot like kill him. The older daughter wanted you to kill him?
The older daughter, Kylie, wanted to unalive Mustafa. Interesting. There's a motive. You try to unalive him. Now you're saying negative things about him. You have a motive. You're a liability for the prosecutor. The first thing they do when they put you on the stand is they want to determine if there's a motive. I mean, you say you're not there. You didn't see anything. You have a motive. Your dad works for the club owner that has a problem with Mustafa. That's who she's talking about. When you listen to Amy Hassan talk about Kylie, this is who she's talking about. Now, when you hear Amy Hassan, when you hear this lady, who on the internet identifies herself as Christine Alkazai, Christine Warda on TikTok, Christine Warda 7, who is every day on the internet, on TikTok, with the wife of the investigator, Kate0707. She talks about Kylie. And she says, I don't know Dorothy, I don't know Mustafa. I was not there. Talk to Kylie. That's not a witness. And then when you go to Kylie, she tells you, I wasn't there, I didn't see anything. And then you find there's a motive, a connection. Well, Mustafa's vehicle has a vehicle accident. And the mechanic is saying there's brake failure. Where is the goddamn police department? Better yet, you're charging Mustafa with M1. This is a vehicle accident. On dash camera, you see it's a vehicle accident. you see that his foot was on the brake the whole entire time. There's Google Nest videos inside the apartment that shows he loves his family. Beautiful relationship. The kids, Dorothy, it's a beautiful relationship. We have a Google Nest video inside the apartment. Amy Hodson says, I don't know Mustafa. I don't know Dorothy. I know Kylie. She says, I know Kylie. Well, it gets worse. We have evidence from forensic interviews that we've released on the internet that the police department weaponized the kids against Mustafa. Kids that love Mustafa. We have days on days of Google Nest videos inside the apartment that show that it's a beautiful relationship. The police get involved and lie about Mustafa to the kids. I mean, in one statement that the kid says in a forensic interview, he says, investigator told me that Mustafa crashed on purpose, ran away from the scene, and if he hadn't ran away, the police they could have saved my sister. We know from the body cams and the documents that Mustafa was in a coma, was helicoptered to the hospital. In the hospital, they did a toxicology report, found no alcohol and no drugs. And they released Mustafa. But Mustafa was in a really bad shape. It was a really horrible accident. Apparently, the paramedic had injected him with 50 mcg of F. 50 mcg of F knocks you out for 9 hours. And while he's in the hospital, they engage in interrogating him. Imagine, you just lost your family. You just woke up from a coma. They inject you with 50 mcg of F and begin hammering you with questions. And all you see on these body cams, it's a very sad body cam. What you see is a broken Mustafa, is a Mustafa that's asking for his family, doesn't know where he's at, and all he's doing is asking for his family. He said, where's my girlfriend? Where's 5-year-old Empress? And after 4 hours, when they told him that your family is gone, Mustafa is broken and is crying and is broken for his family. But the investigator he puts in the police report, Mustafa did not care about his family. They sealed that body cam. But in the police report, it says, when we told him that his family is deceased, he didn't care. That's interesting. They sealed the body cam. When he's broken, he's crying, but in the police, they falsified the police report. We have a whole line of body cams in the hospital and what went on in the hospital. It's disturbing. We put it on the internet. It takes about an hour to go over everything. But I'm just summarizing what went on. We have evidence from the forensic interview. Get back to what we were talking about. We have evidence from the forensic interview that the police department engaged in weaponizing the kids against Mustafa. Kids that loved Mustafa. Going to continue playing this body cam.
Okay.
The little girl that came to the hospital yesterday.
Okay.
I don't know. Were you there at the hospital?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So my granddaughter goes to school with Kylie.
So Amy Hodson, her granddaughter, her name is Michelle. She goes to school with Kylie. Okay.
I have known about her mother and a little bit about her stepfather for a while now. Kylie was removed from the home. Apparently there's a lot of abuse, neglect, malnourishment, all that with the other children in the house.
Okay.
Actually, Kylie's mother was supposed to have no contact with Kylie through CPS or DC, I don't know what they call it now, But however, she was still having contact with Kylie. So this is how I'm coming to know of a little bit of this situation. So I'm just trying to give you a little bit of the background of how I know.
Okay.
So Kylie knows a lot about what's going on with her mother and the boyfriend.
So
apparently the boyfriend is like psycho abusive.
Okay.
So she doesn't know the boyfriend. She doesn't know she doesn't know Dorothy. And she says, Kylie, talk to Kylie. Apparently, the boyfriend is abusive. Talking about Mustafa. So you don't know, but you want to identify, and this police department wants to treat Amy Hodgson as a witness. As a matter of fact, what you'll hear, the prosecutor in court take what Amy Hodgson says, and she makes it into a fact. Prosecutor Sarah Sammy takes what Amy Hodgson says and build a case on it. A whole entire case built on manufactured probable cause. Lady, this is not a witness. An individual that says, I was not there, I don't know Mustafa, is not a witness. And she's telling you, I'm not a witness. You should talk to Kylie. Now, when we go to Kylie, we see a connection back to the club owner. Kylie tells you, I was not there. In a forensic interview, I was not there. I didn't see anything. My dad is making me come here. That's what she says in a forensic interview. It is disturbing. It is disturbing. Who's your dad, ma'am? Who is your father? Oh, he pierces all the strippers for the club owner. I mean, this is disturbing. Listen to this. This is a forensic interview. My dad made me. Who is your father? Kylie? Who is your father? Oh, let's hear what she has to say. And tell us who her dad is. Because apparently, Kylie messed up and went on the internet and said a little bit too much. Well, where now she's a liability for the Commonwealth Attorney. Does everybody know that now their subpoena, the Commonwealth Attorney had subpoenaed Glenn Ford, the ex-boyfriend, on the recording that you heard say, Kylie came up to me to unalive Mustafa. Wait a minute. What's disturbing is Mustafa was set to trial in December. Glenn Ford was not getting a subpoena. Amy Ashworth did not put out a subpoena for Glenn Ford. But now there's a subpoena? Wait a minute. You're talking about an individual. You're talking about Mustafa, who you set trial for. And you're ready to go to trial. You didn't subpoena Glenn Ford. But now you are. And the reason you're putting out a subpoena for Glenn Ford is because Glenn Ford is being heavily investigated. The federal government is looking into this county, and Amy Ashworth is attempting to wash her hands out of the Mustafa Al-Jazari case and say, look, we dropped the ball. And she's not going to say it's her. She's going to say the police department. They're going to play this game of shifting back and forth. That is two separate agencies. The Commonwealth Attorney Office, Amy Ashworth, and the police department are two separate agencies where the Commonwealth Attorney brings up charges based on police reports. And police reports are falsified. Individuals that said certain things, now we're finding out that they are not true. This is the game they're playing. 2 years. Solitary confinement. Beating inside the jail. And now they want to play a game of they're shifting blame. They're going to bring in Glenn Ford. put him on the record, and ask him what he's talking about Mustafa. Now, unfortunately for Glenn Ford is on a body cam, on multiple body cams, multiple recordings, sat down with a private investigator who says Kylie came up to him to unalive Mustafa. And there is an enormous amount of audio from him going on the internet and talking about the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. Now, Amy Ashford is going to bring him in, and behind the scenes, there are things that are happening where a detailed record is kept. Every individual that went on the internet. And this case is heavily being investigated. They're going to bring in Glenn Ford and ask him, what exactly are you saying about Mustafa? The vehicle is going to be investigated. And I want to tell everybody, the audio is going to be pulled from the SD card. As a matter of fact, the other videos are going to be pulled from the SD card, where Mustafa is door dashing. You want to see Mustafa's driving history? Well, look no further. There's a dash camera there. I didn't see any reckless driving behavior on that dash camera. We have a whole entire, just about 33-minute on the internet. Tell me where Mustafa is engaged in a reckless driving behavior. So when the prosecutor says Mustafa is a reckless driver, that he uses tactics to scare Dorothy, going into traffic and coming back, we didn't see a reckless behavior. Mustafa is door dashing, and the videos are on the SD card. Those are going to be pulled. We're going to get to see Mustafa's driving behavior. But to sit here and rely on kids that have been weaponized by investigator Romero, who tells these kids, a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 14-year-old, that Mustafa did this on purpose. I mean, imagine kids that just lost their mother, children that just lost their mother in a tragic vehicle accident, kids that love their mother's boyfriend. You don't have to take my word for it. I have the Google Nest inside the apartment. Are being told by a badge in a uniform that your mom's boyfriend, when the accident happened, he ran away. Your mom's boyfriend ran away, and we could have saved your 5-year-old baby sister if that monster did not run away. You're talking to kids. A 9, a 10, a 14. You're telling him that he ran away. He left your 5-year-old baby sister. And if we hadn't ran away, we could have saved her. And then they take the kids, put them in a forensic interview. The kids, one of the kids, Jaden, says, I loved Mustafa. Mom always told me to love Mustafa. But what the investigator told me, and then he goes on and describes what he told him about leaving the kids, running away, his 5-year-old sister, we could have saved her. I mean, the child is telling you on camera in a forensic interview, video that I put on the internet, what they're doing to him. This case is getting to a point that it's wide open. It's obvious what's happening here. Police department engaged in police misconduct. Investigator falsified the police report. They attempt to protect those investigators by sealing off the file. Unfortunately for them, everything's on the internet. And the best is yet to come. This body cam, you can listen to it on the internet, on our YouTube channel, under Not Another Boring Podcast. It's also on YouTube. It's also on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We have Kate's voice, the one that pretends to be Kate, the wife of the investigator. You can compare the voices. Every now and then, you'll hear her lurking in the shadows. She no longer goes public anymore. She's on private accounts. Have you seen when you're in what metaphor are we using? Batman in Gotham? Sure. The villain that are lurking in the corner, and then Batman shows up out of nowhere. Mustafa's brother. Gotcha, motherfucker. Gotcha, body cam. You tell me what they're doing here. I'm putting everything on the internet. What else can I do for you? I mean, should I dress up? Should I dress up in a superhero costume? I mean, is that what you want me to do? Dress up in a superhero costume? I've got you the body cams. I've got you the discovery file. I've got you audios. I even have the voice of the prosecutor. In the name of transparency, Missy, I don't know. Where else can I do? They're coming after me in federal court, in Warren County, and I'm going to destroy them in court the same way I destroyed Sheriff Glenn Hill in court. Now, before we end the podcast, I want to play a video from the Google Nest where you don't have to take my word for it that this is a beautiful relationship, that the kids loved Mustafa, that Mustafa took on these kids as his own. The prosecutor says extensive abuse. The prosecutor says extensive abusive history with Dorothy. What do you mean? Mustafa met Dorothy 3 months ago. 3 goddamn months ago. And a tragic vehicle accident happened. Your police department is admitting there's brake failure. The computer inside the vehicle says he's pressing the brake the whole entire time. Your investigator says he did everything he can to avoid a vehicle accident. Every piece of evidence. This is a vehicle accident. But in court, you'll hear her say, extensive abuse with Dorothy. What do you mean? It's 3 months. This relationship is 3 months long. And there's a Google Nest video inside the apartment. So you don't have to take my word for it. I'm going to release the audio of the proceeding in court and what the prosecutor is saying. You don't have to take my word for it. You tell me what this prosecutor is saying. You've got body cams. You've got documents. You've got the dash camera inside the vehicle. You have the Google Nest. On this note, and in this video, you see how beautiful the relationship. The kids love Mustafa. Mustafa loved the kids. Dorothy comes in. It's beautiful. This is a beautiful relationship. But when the police got involved, when Investigator Romero got involved, he weaponized those kids against Mustafa. On that note, Missy, thank you for being here. I love having you in the box. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I want to specifically thank Bustos. Tomorrow is going to be a beautiful day. Bustos is upgrading all of our equipment. And if you've been with us long enough, you'll hear a lot of static in our mics every now and then.
We love you, Bustos. We love you.
I love you, ma'am. She's upgrading all of our equipment. And those our equipment is the difference between a platform that's going to go viral versus a platform that's stagnant. And the reason I say that is because there's something called video follow audio. So every time when I have someone else on a podcast, when they say something, the camera automatically focuses on them. When I say something, it focuses on me. And if we both talk, there's a third lens that's going to have both of them on camera. And you're talking about a platform that's getting upgraded. And it's beautiful. Bustos, I love you, man. I love you for being there. You give this family hope. You give my brother hope in solitary confinement that the community is watching and is listening and is here. You give this community hope. Thank you for being there. I want to thank
all of you people who have been through this with us.
I love you, ma'am.
With this family.
I want to thank specifically Lakeisha for making it possible for me to get my body cams from the sheriff office. They hit me with a very expensive amount. They wanted just almost $800. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't have it. I do not have it. The county took my money, sent me a lawyer that pretends to be a lawyer, took my money, and found out that he's working with the investigator. So all the money that I had is gone. And what I'm actively doing, I'm door dashing, I'm attempting to bring back my mobile mechanic company. It's not easy. And with everything that's going on, it makes it difficult. But I'm doing it. And I'm fighting. And I promise you, they're not going to win. And every day, it's an ongoing battle. You got a whole entire county coming after me. I'm goddamn right in my own motion. If you see those documents in the background, there's like documents. I've got the whole entire wall covered with exhibits, papers. I'm filing a motion in Warren County. I'm putting documents, exhibits in federal court. I've got my First Amendment violated in Prince William County. We're bringing out a platform. I mean, we're doing a lot.
All I can say is look out, Prince William County.
Look out, Prince William County. And you heard it from the community itself. And we're asking the community to be there in the process. Mustafa's Legal Fund is a cash app. It's Mustafa Legal Fund. We're asking the community to support our YouTube channel. There's a button on there where you can directly invest in this YouTube channel. And that's going to help what we're doing. What we're doing is a lot. And I want to thank everybody for being there.
We love you. We love Mustafa. We love your family.
Missy, I love you, ma'am.
People.
Thank you for being there.
Strong.
You know, I'll tell you, they've been doing this for a long time. And they got comfortable. And God is angry. I tell you that much. For God to give us the strength. I'll tell you, this is strength from the Lord himself. For God to give you that strength, enough strength to go after a county, that's God himself. God is angry. And God help you when God is angry.
I appreciate what you're doing.
I love you, Missy. Thank you for being there. And if I can ask everybody, for the love of God, do not forget the YouTube channel. Hit the like button. Share the channel on your other platform, on Facebook. And if you can afford it,
share it with your friends.
Share it with your friend. Share it with the community. And if you can afford it, there is a button on there that you can directly support this YouTube channel. I love everybody. Thank you for being there. And we will see you tomorrow. I mean, I'm going to shoot for 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, but God knows, okay? I give you. We will be there sometime, but we will be there. Love everybody, and I will see you tomorrow.
Love you, Omar.
Thank you for joining this podcast. This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa, through the police body cam, Judge Carol Weimer and his jail correctional officer are under the microscope. We're going to be building profiles, beautiful profiles on correctional officer. I remember a correctional officer that told us that no jail videos will be released. No one will find out what goes on behind these walls. That he specifically, and Missy, he's emboldened to say, if anybody farts behind these walls, no one can hear him. On that note, I'm here to tell them, we're going to hear it. Just don't fart too loud, because we're here, and we're watching, and we're listening. God damn it, you stink. On that note, thank you. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that Sheriff Glenn Hill, on his watch, is allowing this to happen. I mean, these are his jail officers. They get their authority. They're deputized by him. And our message to Sheriff Glenn Hill, hold your correctional officers accountable before the Department of Justice hold you accountable. On that note, Missy, I love you, ma'am. I love everybody. Thank you for joining this podcast. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for joining this podcast. This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa through the police body cam. Judge Carol Weimer under the microscope.